Okay. I specifically told our HR to hire a stable engineer next time. What the hell is a stable engineer? Did they have like a software engineer that was like just went crazy or something? Or were they like emotionally unstable? What is going on? Allow me to explain what this means. IT engineers are required to have various skills to advance system development. Okay, I'm gonna click on it. So, article by Joseph Cruz. Apparently, they hired someone that was not stable. So we're gonna find out what the heck that means. IT engineers are required to have various skills to advance system development. You also need to think logically and communicate with clients and project members. Of course, it is better to have high programming skills, and it is better to have a lot of IT knowledge. Okay, so he's saying it's good to have technical skills, but however, I've seen more than 100 IT engineers so far, and those who left an impression as sound engineers either have outstanding technical skills or are stable. So either outstanding technical skills or are stable. He keeps saying stable. What is he talking about, dude? Okay. It's out of the question that their technical skills are low, but most have their own technical skills. In other words, if there are 100 IT engineers, about 80 people have ordinary technical skills. It may be surprising, but what makes you stand out from the ordinary group is stable person. Okay, so the needs of engineers differ depending on the content and scale of the project. Full stack engineers are ideal for a small team of elite teams, but it is said that it is stable when it comes to a project of a certain size and a planned period. People can rest assured, I think it will be essential for those who aim to become freelancers. Trying to understand his point here. Sounds like he's talking about a project coming to fruition. People can rest assured. I think it will be essential for those who aim to become freelancers. So someone who can like manage themselves or something. This time I'll explain what kind of person is a stable person and what is the method to be stable. Okay, finally. For inexperienced project managers, I hope it will be a reference when hiring engineers for a project. For IT engineers, it will be a reference for stability, which can be one of their weapons. Okay, why is a stable person good for system development? In the system development of a certain scale, it is significant premise to proceed with the task according to the planned schedule. Project manager, who is in charge of directing a project, must thoroughly manage progress. Okay, so project manager has to pay attention to what the hell you're doing. Okay, that makes sense. In a project that requires a period, the most crucial point that project manager looks for in a project in project members is whether they can proceed as planned. Okay, of course, highly skilled people are also necessary. Still, no matter how highly skilled they are, people who tend to take a break or suddenly slow down progress are more likely to be unable to proceed as planned. Okay, so no breaks. So progress management is essential. Okay, so I thought this was gonna be an article about like emotional stability. It sounds like this is an article about time management. Like they're saying they had like a hire or something that just take a bunch of breaks and never did anything. It sounds like, and now he's like writing an article about how they need someone who actually does work and finishes stuff. Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. I'm hoping there is a bigger point to all this. We'll find out. There's a risk that sudden absences, such as illnesses, are unavoidable. Still, as a project manager, it is necessary to manage tasks such as reassigning developers who are absent and considering recovery measures in the event of a delay due to rest, which is quite a difficult task. Okay, so it sucks for the company if an employee can't come to work and do their job. In that sense, stable person who can proceed as planned is essential. In particular, those who ask to do work that affects overall schedule, called this critical path, are limited to those more stable than their skills. Okay, what did I just read? A stable person, in quotes, who can proceed as planned is essential. In particular, those who have to do work that affects overall schedule, called the critical path. Dude, I've never heard of any of this. Critical path affects overall schedule, are limited to those more stable than their skills. Is this project management stuff? Is this project management lingo? Not sure. For a project manager, the absence of a stable person reduces the burden of progress management. He becomes an indispensable engineer because he gains trust that he will strictly adhere to the deadline. Okay, basically, it just sounds like project managers are really looking for people that just consistently do what they're supposed to do, get their tasks done, and I don't know, maybe communicate. That sounds good, the basic stuff, so, it's definitely good. You gotta communicate if you're gonna be absent and stuff, to your team so they can take the shift for you. What is a stable person? What are the specific characteristics of a stable person? I feel like he's re-saying this a bunch of stuff at times. Okay, if you're thinking about hiring an engineer to build a project system or are wondering who to ask for a task on the critical path, please refer to it. Okay, the Perfect Attendance Award for elementary school students with few sick days. May not make you happy to receive it anymore. Still, in the system development project, it is an award that has a high degree of contribution. So he's telling you not to be sick? Dude, I can't control when I'm sick, bro. It's not like I'm getting sick on purpose, dude. I'm not trying to be a jerk, dude. I just got sick, man, dude. When a colleague takes a sick leave, it is difficult to deal with it in any profession. Still, in a system development project, the development function in charge is assigned to each individual. So sick leave directly leads to delays in development. Okay, yeah, makes sense. There are other ways to recover from it. It is also necessary to increase the load on the software developers to deal with it. And the effort of the project manager and team leads is also required. The fewer sudden breaks, the better. There is no unevenness in work. There are a few likes and dislikes in work. You have many things to do, even if you are an IT engineer. For example, programmers do not only programming, but also create documents such as evidence and test cases, investigate the cause of bugs, and so on. Oh man, this is a long article. Okay, hold up. We're like halfway in, I think. Okay. Doing common bugs, so on. Depending on the person, maybe we can speed through some of this stuff. But depending on the person, you can control yourself. Calm personality. So he's looking for a person with a calm personality. Actually, I want to read this real quick. There may be times when you like or dislike what you do, but if the work you like progresses quickly, but the work you dislike progresses slowly, it will be a bit of a problem. People who can work evenly regardless of likes and dislikes are helpful because it is easy to make plans. Okay, this is like the first good point that we made it to. And he's saying that you got to do the work even if you don't like what you're doing. And that's hard, dude. Dude, personally, when I do work that I don't want to do, I end up like procrastinating by doing other things that I sort of somewhat have to do at work, but it's not my main priority. And so I should be doing my main priority, but if it's something I don't want to do as much as I want to do other stuff, I do tend to push it aside a little bit. I should probably work on that. But I mean, I do usually get it done by the deadline, you know? I usually get that done by the deadline. But it is true. You end up just doing all the stuff you want to do gets done fast, which is ironic or something. You can control yourself, calm personality. System development works in teams, so sometimes there may be troubles due to differences of opinion or lack of communication. A moody person can be a bit dangerous because it can sometimes cause halation and affect the whole team. People with a calm personality who can control themselves are less at risk. Is this true? I don't know if that's true. How true is is it really better to be calm than moody? I don't know, because like if you're, I don't know, sometimes people are calm and they just don't say anything, they don't communicate or something. And yeah, I think that's the main issue with that kind of personality, is like you might end up not communicating what you have to the team. You like bottle up your emotions, and then eventually it comes to bite you down the road when you don't address your concerns. Whereas a moody person probably just addresses their concerns right away, but they can get annoying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, ideally, maybe a calm person might be able to address their concerns in a calm way or something. I'm not sure. It'd be hard. At that point, it just might sound like, I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard. Oh no, you gotta find a way to communicate concerns without sounding like toxic or annoying or just. Yeah, there's definitely ways to do that, though, you know. Think positively, optimistic. Failure is inevitable in work. However, if you worry about your failures for a long time, your work performance will decline and you will quickly experience delays in your work. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. It's good not to dwell on your failures. When you fail at work, it is necessary to find out why and consider how to avoid repeating the same mistake. But you don't want to worry about it forever. It's better to have a slightly optimistic person who can quickly change his mind after a failure and return to his original work. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's just life advice, you know? Like, don't, like, ruminate on your mistakes. I mean, mistakes, you gotta think of mistakes as something good, because that's like the fastest way to get to wherever you want to go is by messing things up a lot and then learning from those mistakes. You spend too much time worrying about not making mistakes, that can actually hinder your growth, you know. That can make you stagnate, you know. You might get you'll be too afraid to take risks. Progression will be slow because you are avoiding making mistakes, so you don't try out different things. I think, yeah, you got to start looking at mistakes as something good. When you make mistakes, as long as you learn from it. There are times where it's just bad luck or something. That sucks. Sorry about that. But a lot of times mistakes are good. It's not always good to look macho with physical strength. System development projects sometimes require long working hours, and there are times when we continue to work in a stressful environment for an extended period. If so, physical fitness is an essential factor in system development projects, and people who can maintain their usual performance the next day, even if their overtime work increases momentarily, can be relieved. All right. It sounds like he's saying, y'all gotta exercise. I mean, yeah, exercise. Yeah, you definitely gotta exercise if you can. That is super important. And yeah, I guess tech people probably need to hear that the most. Those are, yeah, it's. Yeah, okay. Well, how to be stable as an IT engineer. Acquiring a sense of stability at work through hard work and practice is possible. Here are some tips for aiming to be a stable person as an IT engineer, so I hope it will be helpful. Change the way you think about work. Work occupies a considerable proportion of your waking hours. It is excruciating to do that time reluctantly, and it is not good mentally. For example, in daily life, if you don't brush your teeth, you feel uncomfortable and get cavities, but you probably don't do it reluctantly. In the same way, I think that by changing your way of thinking as if it were a matter of course for you to do your work, or by making that assumption, you will be able to face your work regardless of whether you have the motivation. So, change your way of thinking. Doing your work reluctantly is bad, but it is not that easy to change the way of thinking. But I like what he's saying, but it's just one does not simply change their way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? One does not simply change the way you think. It is natural to be irritated by reading work. At times like that, you need to change. There are many ways to change your mood, but reading is recommended. Okay. Increase time to exercise. Yep, we gotta exercise. I get drunk with alcohol, but I don't drink. We're gonna skip through some of this stuff. I love drinking alcohol. I enjoy talking to people. Drinking too much can be a problem if it affects your work the next day, but I don't think drinking is all that bad. Okay, he's just giving more life advice. Okay, let's wrap this up. Summary. When hiring an IT engineer for a system development project, if the candidate engineer says my skills are average, to put it mildly, I worry about whether or not to hire them, and the valuation goes up a lot. Okay, this is coming up a lot. I'm hearing this, that a lot of tech bro people are being too humble. They're trying to be humble about their technical skills, and don't do that. There are a lot of things to be humble about. Your technical skills are probably not one of those things to be humble about. You should probably be honest about your technical skills. If they're good, you should probably say that they're good, because when someone's looking to hire you, they want to know what you can do. And so that's why being humble is usually not a good idea, especially, I don't know, even when you're even not just applying for jobs, yeah, like, and for example, when you're networking, that is also a situation where you probably don't want to be humble, because people can probably extend opportunities to you. If you hadn't been humble, had they known what your actual technical skills capacities are, then you can do cool stuff given technical skill sets, but you got to communicate those skill sets with other people so they can understand what's going on, what you can do, and then we guys can do together. It can be really cool, but yeah, you end up being humble and then you don't communicate that well. Could be a problem. So I'm seeing this a lot. Just stop being humble about your technical skills. Okay, if you are in a sales position, there may be fluctuations in the results, and even if you don't sell when things aren't going well, there may be no problem if it sells when things go well. Gender is significant. For IT engineers, I would be happy if I could acquire stability, which can be one of my weapons and lead to future success. Plain English, thank you for being a part of our community. Before you go, be sure to clap and follow the writer. Okay, I mean, the article was pretty cool. I thought the message was a pretty good message. It wasn't like there wasn't like really some really new information out of this article, but there were some good points that he made, and just work on being consistent is really, I think, the main takeaway from this article is be consistent with your work if you can. It just I think consistency, stability is really makes you stand out from the crowd in your company, and it makes you reliable, really. And people want to be around reliable and trustworthy people generally. And yeah, so yeah, aim for that. Try to do your work even if you don't want to do it, you know, and also take care of yourself so you can actually maintain a consistent routine going on. Yeah, because if you're not doing exercise, you start drinking, your health goes down the drain. You're not gonna be able to do the work every day. You're probably gonna have to take more sick days, and you know, you don't want to let everybody down that way. All right, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. That wraps up this article. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, and remember that this is the Simul Shift. Thank you.